It is the early 2000s. You're on Cartoon Network, and you're perusing. You just finished an episode of Samurai Jack, and now it's time for Powerpuff Girls. Dun. That's right, today's video is a redrawing video. And I am redrawing the three iconic ladies, the Powerpuff Girls. A fair warning, I did not draw the other two, technically, Powerpuff Girls, which is the new and included Bliss character from the new reboot of Powerpuff Girls, which I have not watched, but I know she is a newer Powerpuff Girl introduced. And Twisted's sister, aka Bunny, the sister they created in that episode, which is actually really sad episode. So those two I did not draw, but maybe in a future video we'll draw them. Maybe if people like this series. Hi, if you're new here, hi, my name is Selena, and you're probably wondering, who are you? Well, I'm usually a gamer girl, but today I'm an artist girl. I'm a girl boss today. That's right. If you haven't noticed, I'm an artist. I draw things. Not often on this channel because I'm not totally afraid of posting new content, and I haven't made this intro 10 times already. So, but if you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. If you don't like this drawing content, I have a few other drawing content videos, not many, but I have a few other ones, as well as just, I mainly play video games on here. So if you want to watch me play video games, you should peruse the channel, plenty of videos. But today is a drawing video. I don't want to break this. I got a new drawing tablet, which also but I bought a new art program with the said tablet so I could, be a better artist, be better. But also Procreate doesn't have a PC version, so I had to, find a new program and learn a whole new UI, I don't fucking know. I had to learn everything, and most of the time, my two go-tos when I learn a new program or just in general in a new year, I like to either do a series I haven't done in a while or redraw certain reoccurring characters I do, as well as I draw a hand, just to see how much art improvement I have done, as well as learning all the new pens, pencils, and stuff from Clip Studio Art, which that is what I'm using, Clip Studio Art Pro. I'm not using X or whatever, the one for mainly animation, but I'm using the Pro one, just to let y'all know what program I am using. As well as, so Powerpuff Girls, the three original, were one of the first big series I did ever when I started digital drawing. So you're going to see some rough drawings, two within the same year, because I never went back to them within the 2 years I've so far improved, because I saw other series, and then art block happened, and then fun stuff happened. But we're here now drawing the Powerpuff Girls, which I grew up watching, and I haven't stopped watching, so I don't know what I'm talking about, grew up and then I stopped. No, I've watched it throughout college. It helps me sleep, except for certain episodes. Don't put on certain episodes while you're trying to go to bed. The movie is an underrated animated gem, in my opinion, and I just think it got swept under the rug, which really sucks, because they could have made so many Powerpuff Girl movies. I would have eaten them all. But anyways, yeah, I just draw the main three, so Buttercup, Bubbles, and Blossom. I change it up a little bit because my art style is different. It is creepy, it's weird. If you aren't into that, you should probably skip this video. I have a weird art style, and I know not everyone's into that, But that's where I also changed the story up for each of them as well to kind of give it a uniqueness to it. And again, this is my style, this is my redrawing, so I know not everyone's gonna like it. And that's okay, because I like it. So, who cares what anyone else says? I will, however, in the comments take tips and tricks, because I'm new to clip studio art. I've been watching so many videos that sometimes they all blend together. It's kind of crazy. So tips and tricks and stuff like that to ease myself into clip studio would be greatly recommended. Constructive criticism, stuff like that, I'm fine with. That are nice and kind and respectful, because again, I am a human being with human emotions. Surprise, surprise, I know. Truly just don't want to hear. I don't want to see, like, I don't care. Like, if you're being respectful towards me, like, hey, like this isn't towards hate to your art, it looks cool and amazing, but however, that's fine. I know I need to fix my anatomy. One day I'll get better at it. Not today, not in this video, but one day. I do plan on doing more challenges, like art challenges and stuff like that. There's one that's like 30 days of art improvement, stuff like that I plan on doing, as well as like just filming more of my time lapses of series of doing this. So if you recommend any series, I probably have it written somewhere in my notes on my iPhone, but if you have another series that I've completely forgotten and not written in, please let me know. But also in the future, I will be drawing more of my original characters, as I don't do that often. I do mainly fan art, which is fine, but like, or redrawing pretty much like original characters that I've never created in my entire life. So there will be in the future more original characters, but I want to do a nice blend, because I do love turning my favorite cartoons that I watched as a child, make them grow up and like have this kind of like dark story behind it and like be a little creepy and weird, but that's just me personally. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know how to transition to my time lapse, so enjoy this video. Hello, it's me, voice over Selena. That's right, it's your girl. So the first Powerpuff Girl we're doing is Miss Blossom herself, the iconic bow-wearing pink girly pop. Now, she wasn't my favorite character out of the Powerpuff Girls. She's kind of mid, and actually a lot of people in the show make fun of her, which sometimes is a little unhinged, but other times I kind of laugh with them, I ain't gonna lie. But this is her. The main issues, I'm gonna talk about main issues before I get into like her background story. The main issues I had were face shape, eyes for sure. I changed the eyes like 10 times, guys. But it gets better throughout, because I don't care less. It's more like, okay, I know what to do, I know what style to do. I use Blossom as pretty much the experiment for the next two girly pops, because they each get significantly shorter in time lapses. So isn't that funny? Because also I wanted to figure out what kind of painting or like how I wanted to color each one, and Blossom was the said experiment on how I was going to color each one. So funny, ha ha ha, I am. Anyways, so that was the main issues I have, and over time, hopefully I'll get better and faster, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be continuing to use OBS as a time lapse, as this took way too long to do, in my personal opinion, when Clip Studio has a time lapse feature itself. So I'm gonna use that one for my next drawing series, and hopefully that will work better in our videos in the future, my videos in the future. I don't know if you guys recommend a different one, please let me know. But anyways, back to the origin. Well, this is Blossom, and I kind of adultified their experience as well, as made it a bit darker. Instead of like Professor being okay with this and like just being the loving great dad and professor, he went the opposite way, and he kind of went mad scientist-y and experimented on them. And since it was his experiments and all they've ever known his professor, they never really like went after him or ever got mad at him particularly. They more used their anger towards their enemies, the villains. That professor would say, hey, these are the bad guys, go fight them, kind of thing. And as you can see, the scars on their body, granted, I'm gonna use a new method for scars in the future, because this one was the brush. I really like the brush, but I feel like it's too detailed to the point where I can't really get like a good depth on the scars to indicate which ones have been there for so long and which ones are new, that kind of stuff. And he experiments on them. Now, Blossom is kind of in the middle. I think she saves like the other two sisters from being experimented on, but doesn't get as experimented on other ones. She tries to listen to her best ability to try not to get experimented on and make sure her sister doesn't either, because at the end of the day, they do semi have this odd relationship with Professor, in my opinion, at least in my universe, where they do care for him. I mean, he created them, so it's more of just like, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome kind of in a way. And yeah, it's a little sad, but I give them all different types of jewelry, you'll see, and I give them just kind of a feeling of just them. And stuff like that. Like I said, Blossom takes the longest because I'm an indecisive queen here. And unlike Bubbles and Buttercup, Blossom, I don't know. I was trying new things. I was giving them more blush, makeup. I was trying to experiment to kind of make my drawings a bit more eye-catching. And it just took way longer. So you're not going to hear me talk as often, but just know that Blossom, she's Blossom. She still has her iconic powers. I try to keep the same colors as they originally have, because I don't want to change it that much. I still wanted them to be a recognizable, like, hey, that's Blossom, hey, that's Bubbles, hey, that's Buttercup kind of feel. And that's what happened here. Like I said, Blossom is not my favorite character, so I don't have much to say about her. But I did really like her pose. I think it fit well, and I probably did the best legs I could do for her. And the hair was probably the easiest for me to do for her, compared to like Bubbles and Buttercup, who have more a little bit crazy out there hair than Blossom does. And the eyes turn out really cool, so I really hope you like that. But anyways, enjoy the rest of the speed paint. I'll probably be back for Bubbles. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. My girly pop. I did not forget to press record this time to show you guys my process and how I use Pinterest's references to my ability, and as I slowly learn how to use this program, I'm getting a little bit faster with sketches, being a little bit more confident in myself when it comes to sketches, and not like focusing on every little thing, but also knowing the story now and knowing how I want to draw each character. I love Bubbles. As a little girl, Bubbles was my girl. She was my icon. She was my legend. Okay? And she was the girl I really looked up to because she reminded me a lot of me, where she was sweet and kind, but if you pushed her too far, she about to go chaotic, and that was me. I also draw her little stuffed animal Octi because obviously, but as earrings. I thought it was like the greatest idea to draw him as a little squished, like he's not like this perfect stuffed animal, which I kind of like hated at first, but I really love at the end of it because it's not perfect, but it looks so good and it looks so interesting. And it really brings something different with each girl. I wanted to have something different with each of them. Now, Bubbles, I tried my best to not add as many scars compared to Blossom and Buttercup, because I feel like even in the original show, Professor just loved Bubbles. Like, it's Bubbles, come on. And so I wanted to indicate that like Bubbles is probably the least likely to get hurt and least likely to be experimented on because it was Professor's favorite. So he wants to keep her as best in condition as best he could. I don't necessarily know if I like the pose. I just kind of didn't want to draw hands again, to be honest with you. So I kind of hid her hands on purpose. But the proportions on her top, I don't know, guys. I don't know how to do proportions still really well with my weird body type I like to do. So just like bear with me. Because don't worry, if you get annoyed with me, I get annoyed with me. But her ears are the best ears I do out of all the Powerpuff Girls. They look the most realistic to her face. But the only thing I personally did not like was her hair. I don't know why, but sometimes me and pigtails want to fight it out. It's also a hairstyle I don't normally do. I usually do a cute like 50s, 60s kind of style hair because those are just really easy to do. And honestly, if you're starting to draw out, do those simple hairstyles first and then slowly start building up your hairstyle routine of like, okay, I like these, I don't like these, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be easier and you're not going to like be angry over a hairstyle. It's okay to keep the hairstyle simple until you learn how to make a hairstyle not so simple. It's okay. I'm still not good at hairstyles, so if you expected me to be good now, no. I've just got better at highlighting it and adding depth to the hair to make it look more cooler and not so flat, which I really like at the end of the day. And I try to give her like this creepy smile too, because I feel like when you see her, you're gonna just get creeped out, especially with all their glowing eyes, which I thought was like such a cool touch for each of them. I try to give them different eye shapes. I didn't want them to be so closely related. I wanted to try to make them look semi-similar with like clothes and everything, but like scars, the eyes, their experiments, I want them to look a little bit off and a little bit different compared to each other. But the eyes I'm always so proud of, because I like to do weird eyes. I like to do surrealism kind of eyes, where they're glowy, they're not eyes, because I'm bad at pupils, and I haven't found pupils that fit my style just yet, so I try not to do pupils, because it just doesn't work with my art style, which is fine. And yeah, that's all I have to say with Bubbles. I love Bubbles. She's an icon. She's legend. And yeah. But certainly not least is Buttercup. Now, as an older Powerpuff Girl fan, I have grown to love Buttercup. Buttercup is the icon, the legend, but also Buttercup took me the least amount of time. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I was slowly getting back into my groove of drawing again. I've been drawing like for a couple hours each day, so like my style was coming slowly back, which is like this creepy skeleton figure with some muscles. Like, that's what I wanted Buttercup in general. I wanted Buttercup to look stronger compared to the other ones, even though I tried with Blossom and it just didn't look right. So I tried to make Buttercup with like all the ears. Her skin is a bit more scarred compared to everybody else's. That was my plan. Anyway, that was my plan. I feel like Buttercup is the more rambunctious out of all three of them, the most probably giving attitude back, which means Buttercup in turn getting experimented more because, oh, these other two are listening to me, but not Buttercup. Kind of thing, as well as Buttercup's hairstyle fits my art style a bit more, so that hairstyle was like super easy. But I do change it up with the bangs because I felt like it wasn't Buttercup-y enough, it wasn't like inks enough. But I actually like really working with green for some reason. Green and pink and blue are kind of iconic colors to work with, and I really do like it. I regret the bangs for sure, but I was committed and I was like, I need to add a bit more oomph to Buttercup's drawing. It just wasn't feeling it, and yeah, that's what I do. I really love Buttercup. I do try different makeup techniques, like making her have black lipstick compared to everyone else. I do try to incorporate their color somewhere on their face makeup wise, because I just wanted to incorporate a little bit more of the green aspect of like this is their favorite color, and to help with like adding a little bit more depth in their skin. Makeup can sometimes do that. And I don't know, I somehow got Buttercup's proportions right, which always amazes me with myself, and I didn't really need to move much of her proportions too much to make her look good. The only thing I was worried about was like the shading, because black and white are just notoriously hard to shade and highlight. But black is really hard to like add depth, so I was pretty scared. So I tried to do a little bit of a gray or tone on Buttercup than pure black, in my opinion, just so I can give her a bit more depth. If anybody has tips or tricks or like colors to use, maybe I could have done like a green undertone for her hair to add a bit more depth into black. And it's just she has a lot more black compared to the other characters, so I was trying to think of unique ways to add a bit more interesting vibes to her than the rest. But I added so many more piercings on her. I definitely see her as the punk rock girl, and I do love Buttercup. She grew on me, and she grew on me on this drawing. But yeah, outro scene is about to come in and give you guys her final thoughts, but enjoy the rest. And now you saw all three of my beautiful Powerpuff girlies on the screen, time lapse and all. I don't know if I'll post some of this on TikTok, probably not, but all these photos are on Instagram. If you have any recommendations on where I can post higher quality photos, or how to export my photos a bit more better high quality, because sometimes on the PC looks great, but then I look at them when I export them and they don't look that great. So if you guys have any tips and tricks on that part, please let me know, as well as like, how did I do? Voice over me. I sound so awkward. I haven't done this in so long. So if you guys recommend any tips and tricks on that, like, oh, hey, do this. Like I said in my voiceover, I do plan on using Clip Studio's or time-lapsing thing to see if I like that more compared to OBS, or if there's a program out there that is specifically for artists' time-lapses in general. But I just like showing you guys everything I use, and most of the time time-lapses don't show you the brushes and stuff that you use, which I personally, in my personal opinion, don't like. But if you guys prefer just to watch me draw it and not care about what pens and stuff I use, then I'll keep doing that part then. But I'm actually really proud of myself. All of these are really nice. Buttercup took the least amount of time because, like I said, I had an idea, I had a set plan, I was passionate. I was finally getting into my groove of drawing again, where I was drawing like at least 2 hours to an hour each day, which is really good. And I don't want to like push myself too much. So I try to limit myself an hour to 2 hours, because sometimes you get into that drawing mode and you realize like it's been an hour and you're like, oh, I got stuff to do, you know, kind of thing. So I hope you guys liked it, because I sure did. Obviously, there's faults in all three of these, and as an artist, you know, maybe you shouldn't point out your faults all the time 24/7, but I like to show you guys that, like, hey, I know what I did wrong here. Hopefully in the next piece I don't do anything too drastically wrong, but no promises, you know, that's what I'm saying. I hope in the future you guys will recommend me more series to do and stuff like that. I do plan on doing this again next year to see how well my art has improved. I'm also planning on, there are a few drawing series I am planning on doing. I usually draw the Bratz Core 4 every year. I think I have one from last year and the year before that. I don't know why I do this because my art style changes every year. I like to see the progress I make, and I like to change up my art style every year. So that's also probably the issue, but I also plan on doing that as a series here too, in my redrawing series. As well as I said before, I plan on doing a challenge, a 30-day challenge, but obviously that won't be ready until the 30 days are up, and I haven't even started that challenge because it scares me just a little bit. Just a little bit. So there might be future time lapses. Some videos are going to be like this long. Some might be longer depending on how many characters I do. But again, depending on how I do my time lapses, they probably won't be even this long. I don't like how my drawing videos are this long, in my personal opinion, as I think sometimes they do tend to be too long. But I hope you still enjoyed. Like I said, disclaimer, this is my art style. I'm not trying to replace an art style. I'm not trying to say mine is totally 100% better. I had reasons on why I did certain things and why I like to do this certain style to see what is interesting to me, in my personal opinion. As well as I take constructive criticism. I can take it, I promise you. I can take tips and tricks. I love tips and tricks. Thank you. But I will not take hate. I will not take negativity on here. That's just not me personally. Please don't put that in there, because I'm going to most likely ignore it. I'm going to read it, but then ignore it. And most of those types of people hate that. So, yeah. And if you're new here, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. I don't post just drawing content. I do have gaming. I do mainly gaming on this channel, but hopefully in the future it will be a nice more blend of the two. But until then, I hope you have a good day, good night, good wherever you are at this moment in time, and I will see you all in the Powerpuff Girls universe.